YouTube, what's going on? Wanya Films, back with another vlog. Make sure you hit that bell so you always get notified every time I post a new upload. Right now, what I'm going to be going over is everything you need to know about ND filters for your camera. Alright, diving right in. ND filters are very useful when you are filming outdoors or in very bright conditions. You know, even indoors, if you have a lot of light going on, it might save you when it comes to filming. ND stands for neutral density filters. It pretty much allows you to have your shutter speed down really low at say 50 when you're shooting at 24 frames per second out on a bright sunny day. Otherwise, I mean, you can change your aperture, but then, you know, the depth of field isn't going to be there. So if you're looking for that shallow depth of field, you know, that blurry background that we all refer to as bokeh or bokeh, however you say it. Some say it bokeh, some say it bokeh. I go with bokeh. What about you? Yeah, that blurry background that you're looking for, you could shoot on a sunny day. You could bring your aperture up to say like a f16 or even f22. That's all fine, that's all good. But then you're not gonna get that shallow depth of field. The background behind you is not gonna be as blurry as you would want it to be, if that's the look you're going for, you know what I mean? So an ND filter will change all that. If you put the ND filter on your camera, it's pretty much like putting sunglasses on your camera. Meaning, if you put your aperture to say 1.4 and leave your shutter speed at say 1/50th of a second, with an ND filter, that will allow you to keep your aperture open as much as possible and keep your shutter speed at 1/50th of a second to get that cinematic look. But yeah, this is the ND filter right here that I do own. It is the Tiffin variable. You see right here, this is it. Pretty much you just put it onto your camera. But before I go any further with that, I also wanted to show you guys, some people will just buy all sorts of ND filters to put on their various lenses that they have. Say they have a big lens, like for instance this right here. They have another lens that is smaller, but they can't fit this big lens on there. That's what these come in for. These are step-up rings. If you don't know what they are, I'll link them down below along with the ND filter. These come in clutch when you are looking to switch out your lens but don't have another ND filter on it. All you have to do is connect your big ND filter like this right here. Just connect it to the step-up ring and then connect it to your camera. And there you have it. It's just like, it's pretty much like putting sunglasses. Loud cars out there. It's pretty much like putting sunglasses on your camera. Bring it out on a bright sunny day. You will be able to achieve that bokeh that everybody loves to see. That's pretty much the importance of having an ND filter. You don't want to be out on bright sunny days and blow out your highlights because you don't have an ND filter on your lens. Always bring protection. That's what I like to call this. Always bring protection, because you never know. Don't get me wrong, if you're out on a cloudy day, you really don't need it. You really probably most likely won't need it, because the clouds will diffuse the light that's coming off from the sun and give off sort of like a bounce light once the light goes through the clouds. So that, no big deal. But if you're out on a sunny day where there's no overcast, this is a must-have. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll link it all down below. Grab yourself one. There's many different brands. I just happen to go with Tiffin. Also, another good one is Polar Pro, but I do have a Tiffin right here. This is the 77mm. They do have an 82. I went with the 77. They range at about $115 on Amazon. Might find it cheaper, who knows, but I will link it down below. And right now, I'm just gonna leave in a couple examples on what it would look like if you didn't have an ND filter on versus what it would look like if you did. Alright guys, this right now is with the ND filter on it right now. I'm out in bright sunny conditions. I got my brother back here. We're actually gonna get some photos. I apologize if the wind is messing with the sound. There's not much I can really do about that. There is a wrong ND filter to use on your camera. I mean, not technically wrong, but there's better ones. For instance, when I first started filming, I was filming with the Gobi ND filters. They just gave off like a tint to it, and plus it was only like $30 for them. I would suggest going with the Tiffin or the Polar Pro like I mentioned earlier. Try to stay away from ND filters that will cast colors in your photos and video. That's one thing to take note of, because you know, the last thing you want is for you to think that you are getting some great footage, then bringing it to the editing software. Come to find out, that's not the case. Did you know that if you use ND filters, you can get really cool long exposure shots with waterfalls? Putting your ND filter on your lens will allow you to get that milky, that dreamy milky look that you see in waterfall photos. This type of look is very common, and it's cool, you know. It gives your photos a cool look. Me personally, I love doing waterfall photos with the ND filter on. If you put the ND filter on your lens and then bring your shutter speed all the way down to say like 30th of a second, you will get that dreamy look that you're looking for in your photos. I'll leave some examples in here right here. Yeah, awesome for that. Night trails, you don't really need a ND filter to do night trails because of how dark it is. But if you are shooting in the daytime and you want to get that milky look in the waterfall, this is a must-have. Get yourself an ND filter, because not only will it make your photos stand out, it'll give you that dreamy look, you know, the smooth dreamy look that you're looking for when it comes to anything in motion. Man, it's starting to rain right now. We have overcast, there's a lot of clouds, so if you look behind me, you could see a bit of a blur. I do have the ND filter on right now, but yeah, I'm gonna get inside before it starts downpouring. I just wanted to really talk to you guys about waterfalls. That is long exposure. If you are trying to do long exposure in the daytime, an ND filter is a must. It's key. So get yourself an ND filter if you're looking to do long exposure in the daytime. Like I noted, you don't really need it at nighttime because it's already dark. So if you're trying to do light trails, it's not needed, but in the daytime, you're definitely gonna need it. Man, I can't believe we're 6 months into the new year already. It feels like it was just New Year's Eve. It's so crazy how time flies when you're having fun, especially when I'm able to get out and create and, you know, do all the things I love to do. Unfortunately, life does get in the way of that, as it does with many others, you know, work and family and everything else. But I'm gonna make the best out of the next 6 months of this year. I'm just gonna continue to do what I love to do, and that's create and entertain all you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy my content just as much as I do. I did just reach that 1K milestone. If I haven't said it already, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I am running a giveaway right now. Today is the 10th. It ends in 6 days. It ends on June 16th. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it right up above right here. Go ahead, check that out. Again, you only have 6 days. So if you happen to see this after the 16th, there'll be plenty more giveaways coming up. The goal is 100K. I want us to reach 100K, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it there. So if you've been rocking with me since day one, I appreciate you. If you just got me yesterday, again, I appreciate you. It's all love, and you know, just keep coming back, supporting, and I'll do the same thing. But yeah, just, you know, moving on to the ND filters, that's pretty much it. So with ND filters, all it does is modify the intensity of the wavelengths and colors and all that. Not to get too technical, but there's not much you really need to know outside of it allows you to keep your shutter speed low and your aperture open as wide as you can out on a bright sunny day. that's as simple and as basic as it gets, and you really don't need to know much more about that. I'm sure I'll be back with plenty more. You know, this is just the basics. As I learn and progress, I will be here to tutor whoever needs it, and that's pretty much how I run my channel. Whatever I learn, I bring it to you guys, just in case you haven't, just in case there's things that you may or may not know. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. That is what I'm here for. I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm not open for questions or suggestions. Even if there's something I missed and you wanna, you want to add to that, I have no problem with that. Leave it down in the comment below. Hey, I might even make a part 2 and include it in there, you know what I mean, and give you a shout out. So yeah, leave everything down below. You know, I try to answer everybody's questions. If I don't get to your question, it either means I'm very busy, or I may have already answered that question in a previous video. You might want to go check out the video, or maybe I'll get to it eventually. For the most part, I try to answer everybody's questions as fast as possible, and yeah, that's how we're doing it. All right, I'm out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.